We are coming to you from Guaranteed Rate Field in the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon NBC Sports Chicago presents White Sox baseball as Rick Renteria and our Chicago White Sox as they get set to butt heads with John Gibbons and the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, it is Christmas in July here at the ballpark today, and I'm Ken Harrelson along with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of the three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. On Friday, the Blue Jays took that opener 10-5. Then yesterday, it was 9-5 Sox. And Delmonico and Palka, well, they did some damage.
It was a great game yesterday because the Sox came from 5-1 down. And they came from 5-1 down in a big way, led by Nicky Delmonico for the series, 3 for 7. Hit a home run, a couple of triples, and driven in 2, and he started things off, getting the Sox a little closer. And then Palka drove this through the right side, drove in 2 runs, the tying and the go-ahead run, and the Sox were in business last night. They won a big one, 9-5. Anytime you come back, it's really a nice night, and last night was a dandy.
On the bump for us today is a young man who is doing just what we hoped he would do.
Carlos Rodon, now that he's had somewhat of a spring training, is throwing the ball as well as you can throw it. And last time out against the Angels, he was absolutely brilliant. This is a pretty decent offensive ball club, and he held them right there. 7 2/3 innings, just 2 hits, 2 earned runs, walking 3, fanning 8, and carried that no-hitter into the 6th inning. So it was quite a day for Carlos. He's thrown it as well as you can throw it, and he's a top of the rotation starter. Now he's trying to show it to everybody.
All right, finale of this three-game set. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
Welcome back to Guaranteed Rate. It's a gorgeous day for baseball. This has been a very well-attended series. It's also been a beautiful weather series as the Sox, in the third final and rubber game, try to beat Toronto. Here's the White Sox lineup brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. Excuse me, here is the Jays lineup brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. For the best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais at the best price, go to webcars.com. Randall Grichuk leading it off. Lourdes Gurriel in the 2 spot. Then it's Smoke, Hernandez, and Morales. Morales having a good series with Diaz, Drury, Smith, and Maile. They round it out. The defensive lineup for our Sox presented by UI Health, and this is how Ricky Renteria is going to put them out there with Garcia, Engel, and Garcia in the outfield. Then it's Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Jose in the infield. Omar Narvaez gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Carlos Rodon. Carlos threw it very well last time out. He's 3-3 this year. The ERA ever shrinking at 3.38. There you look at the rest of the numbers. Only 36 hits in 50 and 2/3 innings. So things are getting a whole lot better for him lately. The umpires for the game this afternoon. Brian O'Nora has the plate. Field and Culbreth. The crew chief is at first base. C.B. Buckner's at second. And Chris Conroy is at third. It is halfway to Christmas Day, so Santa decided to make an appearance along with Mrs. Santa. It's a gorgeous day, not too warm, so the suit is not chafing. And a lot of youngsters at the ballpark today. Some Blue Jays fans, some Sox fans. Ricky Renteria saw a big comeback in the ball game last night, and hopefully more the same here today, but hopefully the Sox get on top and stay on top, as they will bid adieu to the Blue Jays for this season. So as Randall Grichuk comes up, we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to White Sox Baseball right here on NBC Sports Chicago. As Grichuk, he's set, and so is Carlos. First pitch. That's the way to get it. Get first ball, fastball, leading off ball game, get after it. Grichuk hitting at .218. He's a lot better than that. 14 homers and 34 knocked in.
He's pretty strong, and he uses straightaway center field quite a bit.
That ball hit deep and get foul. It will. A long way.
Boy, that was a blast.
Yeah. Well, you know, you put Josh Donaldson in this lineup, and all of a sudden, that's a pretty good offensive club.
They were pretty much hoping that he would be and stay healthy, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, I was reading one story. They said he was having a lot of trouble throwing to first base.
Yeah, he's having some arm problems. He's having some calf problems. That's been a recurring problem for him.
Boy, he's a great player. Whew. Great player. Not a good one, a great one.
Yep. When he's healthy, he is a huge factor in the middle of this lineup.
Well, it just makes, yeah, he did. He gone.
This is a good hard slider low and in called a back foot slider, and most right-handers have no chance. If Carlos gets ahead of you and throws a back foot slider, you might as well pack it up, because you're not going to make any contact. That breaks too quickly.
Well, he's got his tilt back.
Yep.
And as you mentioned earlier, we were talking before the game, that when you get your tilt back on a slider like he's got, that tells you one thing: he feels good.
Oh, he's feeling real good right now. He's got supreme confidence. He's facing a pretty tough hitter in Gurriel. Gurriel's had quite a series.
Yeah, I've been watching the games. He's dangerous up there. And that's all you want is a hitter to be dangerous. As a manager, you want your hitters to be dangerous, and certainly as a hitting coach, you want your hitters to be dangerous, because that's a major league pitcher out there. If he hits the spots, you're going to go 0 for 4. But if he misses, that's when you got to be dangerous. So there's a line shot. What do you have? A franchise record of 2 hits in a game?
10 straight.
10 straight.
10 straight games. He's got 1 already. it's really amazing. I mean, when you think about all the pitchers you have to run through in a 10-game period, you know, you're going to run into guys like Justin Verlander. You're going to run into guys like Corey Kluber, and yet 2 hits in every game for 10 straight, a minimum of 2 hits. That's a remarkable run.
Here's the switch hitting first baseman, Justin Smoke. Well, I know a lot of people, they find it hard to believe. There is another base hit right back through the middle. But when you're locked in and you're seeing the ball well, actually, hitting is not that hard.
No, but take it to the other point where you're not swinging it well, and it looks like they got 15 guys out there.
It's impossible. Everything is self-induced, and when you're not seeing the ball and you're not swinging it well, you walk in that batter's box and you got a lot of pressure that you put on yourself. When you're seeing it good, there's no pressure. Here's Hernandez to Oscar. So 1 out, 2 on. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center. That's high and deep into right field. Ivy back on the track right in front of the fence. He's there. And that's what you call it. Just missed him.
And that's fortunate. It had about 2 feet to spare because that was a towering fly ball. Almost left the yard. But Avi able to set up and make the catch.
Well, we talked about Gurriel. He's dangerous. That young man, Hernandez, he's dangerous as well.
Well, they got him as a very young player and didn't realize, I don't think. I mean, he's got really good pop. So all fields.
Here's a man right now that's suffering a lot with the absence of Donaldson. Even though Josh was hitting in front of him, you can protect somebody by hitting in front of them a lot of times. Because when that pitcher gets to have to work on Donaldson, then all of a sudden this guy steps in there, Morales, he's really dangerous.
Not to mention how many times Donaldson got on, put you in the stretch.
Yeah.
And then you're facing Morales with a runner on.
There's the thing that's not talked about enough. Hitters getting guys from the stretch.
Yeah.
Boy, there is such a different feeling, different mindset facing a guy from the stretch versus the full windup. Of course, today you get a lot of guys using almost the stretch all the time.
Yeah, and they do it, and I can't figure it out because you're looking for deception, and there's very little deception from the stretch position. You get your deception from the windup, if you get it at all.
Boy, you're talking about that. That brings back memories of Vinegar Ben Mizell, big left-hander from Pittsburgh. Warren Spahn, those left-handers with big kicks. That's popped up in the short center field. Adams got a beat. He's got the ball, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across. There were a couple of hits, 2 left after a half inning of play. It's the Blue Jays nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
Webb Auto Group starting lineup. And it's Tim Anderson leading it off against the lefty, as he usually does, with Leary Garcia, who's been red hot from both sides of the plate. Then it's Abreu, Garcia, Davidson, Moncada, Engel, Sanchez, and Omar Narvaez, also red hot, catching and hitting 9th. The defense. It's a UI Health defensive setup, and this is how John Gibbons puts them out there with Hernandez, Grichuk, and Smith left to right, and Drury, Diaz, Gurriel, and Smoke. Luke Maley has the plate, and our Lexus Experience amazing pitcher is Ryan Borucki. 0-2, but a fine ERA of 2.79. He's kind of a soft-tossing left-hander.
Well, our club historically has had, at least in the last 35 years, had trouble with soft-tossing left-handers.
There is no doubt about that, especially one who can get a straight change over the plate.
That Ross Grimsley, former left-hander for Baltimore. There's a shot, just fouled. Dadgummit. I remember in the old ballpark, he threw a 3-hit shutout against us with 10 strikeouts and never touched 80.
That was Ross.
That big curveball.
And that one didn't miss by much, but it missed by about a foot.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Jimmy at 245, 14 homers, 43 driven in. That ball hit hard. Stretch, get over his head. Nope. So with one out, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. There you see. Fans went with Davison. Cruz going with Moncada. Steve's going with Anderson. And J.J. Shearer, George Jacobs, David Novak, and Jimmy Olsen out in Seattle. Jim Canatero and I, we're going to go with Yolmer Sanchez. Completely disreputable Jimmy Olsen. Happens to be the biggest second guesser in baseball.
Huge Sox fan, however.
Oh, they don't come in.
No, he lives and dies with each play.
You ought to see some of the texts he sends me during the games. Leary, he's been swinging that bat pretty well. 286, 4 homers, 27. Had a big day yesterday. What do you have, 4 RBIs?
He's just been a terrific player. I mean, just a terrific player.
Well, he's still not there as far as reaching anywhere near his upside. But that's what A.J. Pierzynski, when we first got him, said. Just stay with him, and you will see what kind of talent he has.
2 for 4 yesterday with 4 driven in.
And today, the versatility of a guy who can play any position is invaluable, because the pitching coach wants as many pitchers on his staff as he can get. Terry Francona has literally changed a lot with the way this game is played today.
There's no doubt, and Terry has another man in his bullpen now, Brad Hand, to help him out. They needed some bullpen help. They got it, and we'll see if the Indians can continue to run away with it. I think they run away with it, because it doesn't appear to me that, I mean, even Minnesota, who's in second place, has divested themselves of some talent. They'll probably trade another player or two, and so they're not going to catch him.
Well, the game today is the battle of bullpens, as we've talked about now for the last few years. Abreu, 260, 16 homers, 59 driven in.
If you look at the number that Borucki is wearing, you'll understand who his hero was growing up. It was Mark Burley. That's why he is number 56.
Yeah, he said he patterned himself after Burley. He's getting it and throwing it. That's
yeah,
one
he
thing.
is. 12 seconds between pitches. That's pretty good by today's standards. That would be long for Mark Burley.
You know, there's another saying that's gone from baseball, probably gone forever, that many clubs used to adhere to, and that's, if we're going to get beat, let's get beat in a hurry. That'll do it. 1, 2, 3, and after 1, no score. 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. You can put it on the board with a perfect mortgage from Guaranteed Rate. Here's Diaz. Outfield, straight up, spread out. They're going after that first pitch when, you know, that's something that's not talked about. You know, you do hear clubs and hitting coaches and everything, well, we want you to go deeper into counts, deeper into counts, deeper into counts. When you get a good pitcher out there, you don't want to go deeper into counts. You want to get him as quick as you can.
No, if you get to a point where he can wipe you out with a back foot slider, then you're really in trouble anyway. So you might as well hit the first ball fastball. If you're up there, you got to be looking first ball fastball, because anything else, you're not going to hit it.
Well, there's a guy going into Cooperstown today that was maybe the greatest first ball fastball hitter that ever played a game.
That's Jim? Oh, Vlad Guerrero? Well,
yeah.
He was an any ball hitter. He could hit him anywhere.
From the tip of his nose to the tip of his toes. What a great player.
He was.
He could throw, he could run.
Yeah,
he could do it all.
Before the legs gave out, there wasn't anything he couldn't do.
Well, he'd have been playing a few more years hadn't been for that carpet up there.
Yeah.
That was absolutely maybe the worst artificial surface in all of baseball.
It was right up there in the top two if it wasn't the worst. That was in Old Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Tore up a whole lot of knees for a lot of outfielders.
Yes, it did. Two and two the count. Diaz hitting at .250, 9 homers, 27 driven in. Yeah. The mantra was, the better the pitcher, the faster you got to try to get him. First of all, the better the pitcher, most of the time he's going to be throwing first pitch strike anyway.
As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in today's game.
That's what real good major league pitchers do, is throw first pitch strike.
Well, if you can get on top, you make a defensive at bat. And at a defensive at bat, maybe you give up a single, perhaps a double. You're just not going to give up too many long balls or too many triples.
Here's Drury. Hitting a 179, a homer. He's driven in 7.
Well, Drury plays third base these days. However, what he'll probably be is a second baseman, because their #1 prospect, Vlad Guerrero Jr., is a third baseman. And he can really hit him, and they figure he's going to be here the very latest by next year. This is a young kid with all kinds of talent. Not built like his dad. His dad was tall and lean. The youngster is wide.
His dad was a huge man.
Yeah, well, big man.
That's right side. Obviously a long way to go. He was out there and fairly deep right now. He gets there easily. 2 down.
Wind is blowing toward the right field corner, as it usually does here. But because the wind swirls, you never really know. You just know it's a very lively ballpark, especially when it's warm.
Here's Luke Smith at .273, couple of homers, 7 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. Smith, I should say.
His dad, second in the Rookie of the Year balloting in 1987, I believe, behind Jerome Walton. Dad could hit. Dwight Smith Sr. could really hit.
If you say 1987, that's one thing, but when you think about it, boy, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Big gap out there in right center. No score. Top of the second if you're just tuning in. Little check swing. That's what really will get a hitter upset. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3, and We go to the bottom of the second. 0-0.
Chicago's favorite sports trivia show where the fans are put to the test for a chance to take home some cash. Play along tonight at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago. And we've got a guest in the booth. Tom Paciorek has graced us with his presence. Tommy boy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Stevie. You guys look terrific, by the way. Those cameras don't do you justice.
You can go to hell for lying like you can
I know
for stealing.
And you thought you were getting rid of me, remember, Hawk? Says I'm coming back. I wanted a mulligan on that last broadcast.
It took me 10 years to get rid of you. Here's Avi. Yeah, the Wimproo came in for our annual White Sox Charities golf outing tomorrow at the wonderful golf club of Beverly. Boy, one of the best clubs around.
Really? I've never gotten on there.
Oh, they held a Western Open there for years and years and years before they moved it over to the other course.
Yeah, it's a beautiful golf course. I mean, beautiful.
It's the home of Ed Farmer, isn't it?
They're all the home of Ed Farmer. You won't find one not the home of Ed Farmer.
I think Farmer caddied over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Before or after they threw him out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's right.
Oh, they did. Yeah, that's it.
Avi at 282, 11 homers, 24 knocked in. Boy, I'll tell you what, that emphasis on the time he had the deal, really, we missed it. He was swinging the bat extremely well. Yeah, that's going to be fun tomorrow out there. When we were living here out in Lisle, I belonged to Butterfield. And we used to go over and play Beverly golf, play there. And then after the golf game, we had big gin games. That was a good gambling club over there in Beverly.
They got all your money over there in Beverly?
A lot.
So
Believe me, they got a bunch. That's upstairs.
Yeah, life is great now, Hawk. I'm just telling you guys earlier, I just got a pacemaker put in about 6 weeks ago. My kids, for my birthday, gave me a T-shirt that said 70 is the new 90.
Wimpy.
Endearment.
Let me tell you what. How old are you now?
71.
Okay. We both know one thing. If we were to put a speedometer on your behind, it'd be about 102. Yeah. And you have packed about everything you can in the 71 years.
I think I did, yeah. You were right there with me.
We were way behind Mantle, though. Mickey was king of that.
Well, Stoney,
yeah, for you youngsters out there, Tom was my partner for 10 years, and I'll tell you what, we had a lot of fun. And then one day he called me, and I had just gotten back from the golf course. That was the day that Payne Stewart, my good buddy, went down killed in a plane crash. And then Wimpy called me that afternoon and said, Hawk, I'm quitting. And I said, what? He said, I'm quitting. I said, why? And he explained to me he wanted to be around his grandkids more. He didn't want to miss them and wanted to spend time with them. And so one day I lose a good friend in a plane crash and lose another good friend because he decided to retire.
Well, I'm going to always be around. I'll just put it that way.
I hope so. 2-0 the count to Davidson. 15 homers, 59 knocked in. He's not going to do anything with that pitch.
This guy patterned his whole career after Mark Burley. When you look at him, what do you think?
Oh, boy.
Got a good straight change.
Yeah. Does he work fast enough?
He works pretty quickly.
I remember I did the first game Burley ever pitched over here, and I think it was about an hour and 15 minutes.
That's a fair ball. Right down the line, so Matt will make the turn. That's our first hit. Maybe there's a guy, I told him last year, towards the end of the season, I said, Matt, I said, if you ever get a good approach with your ability, I said, you got the possibility of hitting 50 home runs one year, especially in this ballpark, playing here.
But you didn't take into consideration how well he could pitch. He's pitched twice and pitched very well. 6 up, 6 down in 2 different appearances. Oh, no, he has.
Wow.
You never know. You got to keep that open. Look at how many more years you could have played if you pitched.
No. Yeah, I used to pull the pin on that hand grenade before I threw the ball in.
Well, you've thrown a lot of batting practice to your.
Oh my goodness! This weekend I must have thrown 3,000 pitches to our kids, and it was 110 degrees in this artificial surface in Atlanta.
I'll tell you, everybody talks about Arizona, which is true. They talk about Kansas City and St. Louis. Atlanta can get hot too.
Yeah, well, still Houston, I think, is the hottest place in the world. Wouldn't you guys?
Well, the humidity is in the 90s all the time. That doesn't help any.
Here's the strike. Mancada, 228, 13 long ones. He's driven in 43 in a short time. Yeah, those. I don't understand. We used to talk about it all the time about Burley. You know, those aspiring young major league pitchers that go into high school, college, that don't throw 90, 95 or higher. You can still pitch in the big leagues. Those left-handers that, if you got a good changeup and you can spot your fastball, as that's hit high into center field.
Go.
Stretch. Nope.
Yep. Pilar out there.
No.
Nope. That's Grichuk.
Grichuk, yeah, he's good outfielder.
He's
too.
not as good as Pilar.
Pilar is unbelievable. He's on the highlight reel every game.
Pilar's one of the most underrated center fielders in the game.
Yeah.
There's Grichuk as he goes back. He realizes he has about a foot or so to spare and makes the catch. Pilar is on the disabled list. They're hoping to get him back, but it's been tough. He's been hurt.
Well, he runs into the wall every other day,
he does.
too.
But he makes some wonderful catches.
Yeah, he's as good as anyone.
Here's Adam at 220. A couple of homers, 20 knocked in. But for you youngsters out there, I mentioned Wimpy was my partner for 10 years. Also, Wimpy was an All-American football player at University of Houston. He played his senior year with a fractured leg, and he was still drafted in the 7th round.
Didn't hurt his speed any.
He was drafted by the Dolphins.
Yeah. Thank God I didn't try and do that. You imagine how we're talking about all those procedures I've been having. Good Lord.
Just got a piece of it.
Well, they're all procedures when they're done on somebody else. When they're done on you, they're operations.
Operations.
Well, the Paciorek family.
Oh, man.
That's one of the greatest sports families I've ever heard of in my whole life. I mean, every one of those guys was a heck of a player. His brother, John, played for Houston. What do you go, 3 for 3 or 4 for 4?
3 for 3 for a career. One game, and that was it.
Yeah, got hurt because that's popped up. And that'll be tied to the side. We'll go to the third, scoreless.
August 2nd as the White Sox take on the Kansas City Royals at 1:10. The first 10,000 fans will receive a heart-free Hawk Harrelson-themed T-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big.
Wimpy.
Oh, that was beautiful T-shirt.
You could have that
beautiful T-shirt.
I know.
I was talking about the delivery.
Yeah, well, I'm out of practice.
You know, Wimpy is the only player I've ever seen that ball players, when he was playing with the Mariners, we used to go in there and we used to look forward to watching his commercials.
Not watching me play, it was looking at the commercials.
The commercials much better. Much better than you playing.
Yeah, you're just saying that because it's true.
Yeah. That's outside.
We were just there, and you had your pictures all over that upstairs as we go into the broadcast booth. You're everywhere.
Oh, they love him
everywhere.
in Seattle.
Oh, my God.
Love him in Chicago.
He's big in Seattle.
Love him in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque's another one. Bakersfield, well, can't leave them out.
Yeah, they got some mosquitoes in Bakersfield.
Oh, man.
Look like horseflies. Can't get that one.
Rodon is the one guy that they've got to have, isn't he?
Well, he's the top of the rotation starter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you have him, then you don't have to worry about either the 1 or 2 because he's that good. And he's going to get a lot better.
Yeah, he gone. One down. Well, he's going to be the #1 starter on this club, knock on wood, barring injury, for a long time.
You would think so. I mean, the stuff is lively. He gets up there 97. The back foot slider's outstanding. And the good thing about what's happening to Carlos is the straight change is getting better. So the last 3 starts, as you can see, he's been brilliant. And that's just a testament to him getting back in the kind of shape you would normally be if you had a spring training, which he didn't have.
Right. I saw him in January at the fantasy camp, and he was telling us he wasn't going to be ready at the start of the year.
No, it took him a while, but also when he came back, it took him about 3 or 4 starts to get that feeling that he felt pretty good about that slider still. And now that he's over that, boy, the sky's the limit as far as what he can accomplish.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be tough on righties and lefties because his ball just moves all over the place. It looks like, it just has a tremendous, to the eye of the hitter, it's even faster than that 97 that you mentioned.
Well, he's got the great mound presence, too. When you look as a hitter, that means so much, too. When you walk up in the box and you've been watching this guys there, the line shot the Omo. So that's a definite hang with them for Gritchett.
Well, Stoney, yeah, go ahead, Hawk.
No, I'm saying the mound presence is so important because you get guys, I'll tell you guys going to the Hall of Fame, they had great mound presence. Jack Morris.
Oh, yeah.
When you win that box against him, you knew you had your work cut out for you. Now, he didn't have the greatest stuff in the world. He had good enough to win, 280-something games.
Yeah, he was a good one, and he was a good big game pitcher. Talk about the playoffs late in the year. I mean, he was as good as it got.
Big stones.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did that.
Well, he was always a really good pitcher, but he became a great pitcher when he developed that split finger.
Yeah, that's what pitcher made it.
Remember the no-hitter he threw at us at Old
I remember that.
Comiskey?
What, Kittle? He struck out Kittle in the game.
I was on deck, thank God. Go ahead, Kitty, make the last out. I don't.
Ivy, battling that win, makes the catch. So another 1-2-3 inning, and we're still scoreless.
Show me the Chicago White Sox into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Chopper to Chipper going in the Hall of Fame today.
You don't mind if I read this promo, do you?
No. Go ahead.
And we'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on Windstream in Montezuma, Iowa. Montezuma, yes. I had some Montezuma last weekend.
Oh, good.
It's good. Very nice.
Not contagious, I hope.
Hope you're over that. You over that?
Yeah. Good to know.
Here's Yomer. It'll be Sanchez, Narvaez. Get back to the top of the order with Tim Anderson. Sanchez at 249, 6 homers, 43 driven in.
I just had a weird thought. Does Yomer remind you any of Jerry Hairston Jr.?
Yeah.
No, Jerry Hairston. Jerry Hairston, not Jr. He's got those mannerisms.
Yomer has finally convinced a lot of people he's a major league player.
Oh.
And a good one. Said it before and I'll say it again. He's the smartest player on our team. There's a strike on the outside corner. You talk about baseball acumen, he's full of it. He knows how to play the game.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, I think the more you watch him play, the more you like him.
No question. Strikes him out there, so 1 down.
I don't know if you were there, you didn't see this, but after the game when Trace Thompson hit that game-winning home run, and Yomer came out with a bucket of Gatorade and he put it on himself. That was one of my highlights ever. That was really fun.
Yeah, what was that catcher's name at Oakland there? That's something he would have done a few years back.
Heath.
Yeah, Mike Heath.
Mike Heath. Yeah, he was nuts.
Yeah. Here's Narvaez. Hitting at 279, 3 homers, 17 driven in.
He's been as hot as you can get the second part of this season. I mean, as soon as Kevin Smith came up, it was like the light turned on for Omar because he knew now there was the guy that was competing with him for playing time. He's been the hottest hitting catcher in baseball since June 1st.
Well, he's putting the barrel on it.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's hit really well.
Yeah, he was in that 100 range, wasn't he, for a while?
He was on the interstate for quite some time, and he got it up, knocking at the door close to 300. Now he's slipped back down to 279, but he's still swinging it well.
That's Souvenir left side.
Tommy, you've been on, and Hawk and I have been on the same kind of teams. Teams that didn't have near the season they wanted to have. The Sox fall into that category. On a daily basis, how did you get yourself ready to play that day to give the best effort you could possibly give?
Well, when you had my situation for most of the teams that I was on, it was like a life and death situation. I wanted to, play every game like it was the 7th game of the World Series because I never had one of those long-term contracts that guys are looking for.
You got day to day?
Day to day.
Yeah.
I was just happy nobody was there putting my uniform on when I got to the park. That's why I got there early.
That ball hit into right field. Long way to go. He can't get there. Now the ball gets away, so now Omar on his way to third. Standing up, the triple.
3 bases for Omar. How about that?
Let me guess. Is that his first?
Well, including that one. That would have to be his first, yes.
Okay.
This would be his first, including that one. That is the first, and probably not going to see too many more of these as this ball gets away from Dwight Smith Jr. has a hard time picking it up, and Omar is off to the races.
Look at him go.
Spanky.
He had to be the funniest guy running the bases ever.
Me too. I agree. So here is Anderson with the infield in. But, getting back to what Steve was asking Wimpy right there, one of the big things today is money has changed a lot of things. The threat of the minor leagues, if you're an everyday player and you're not going well, playing on a team that's not doing well, there's no threat but the minor leagues anymore. You're making too much money. You got a long-term contract. It'll never happen, but I would love to see as he did go. Everything go back to one-year contracts.
Ooh.
But that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah. Nope.
I'm glad these guys are making the money they're making. There's no question about that.
Well, one-year contracts, you would see an intensity that you haven't seen in many years.
That's right. That's exactly
because if you didn't play hard today, you likely were not going to play tomorrow, and that affected what you're going to make next year. And so you really couldn't coast at all. I mean, you knew that whatever you did this year was going to determine what you made next year.
Wow.
So if you took time off, if you went on the disabled list when you really didn't have to, you were doing yourself a disservice, not necessarily the team.
Well, back in those days, the mantra was, if it ain't broke, don't go in that trainer's room.
Don't tell anybody.
That's true.
And look at some of those contracts out there right now that are basically ruining franchises. Baltimore in particular comes to mind.
Well, there's a few teams that have a lot of guaranteed money moving forward that they can't possibly get rid of. Even in a trade, you're going to eat most of the money anyway. I mean, look at the Hamels deal to the Cubs.
The 1-2. Good pitch on him upstairs, and 2 down.
Now time for the Old Dominion bringing his best, and Leury has certainly brought his best. Since June 22nd, since he came off the DL, 315, 13 driven in, he scored 11. Slugging percentage of .461. Leury's been doing it from both sides of the plate and playing just about everywhere.
Another one of those guys that the more you watch him play, the better you like him.
Yeah. Well, the name of the game of baseball is talent evaluation. It always has been. It always will be. Whoever evaluates talent. That's why Atlanta won 14 consecutive divisional titles. They evaluated talent better than anybody with Schuerholz and Cox. Of course, they had some pretty good pitching to go along with it, but they evaluated those guys. It's just like that Oakland situation, and when Moneyball came out, they never one time in that movie mentioned Mulder, Zito, or Hudson. Not one time.
Not one time. That's right.
Not one time in that movie did they mention those 3 guys.
Yep.
That was one of the most screwed up movies I've ever seen in my life.
Me too.
Now, I love Brad Pitt. He did a great job. But the storyline was terrible. That's in the hole. They're going to have a tough time. And they get him. Nice play, nice pick by Smoke. And we're into the 4th, still no score.
White Sox career, what pops in your head?
Coming home after Mom's death, being traded, from the Phillies, and the joy and the happiness that I think baseball does give families. We went through a very emotional time with losing Mom and having that opportunity to come home. And I think what baseball did, it really eased the pain of her death, to be honest.
That is one of the nicest players I have ever met in the game of baseball, and one of the nicest people I have ever met, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the honors richly deserved the honors for what he did on the field, but what he did off the field, whatever community he was associated with, is magnificent.
Well, he's one of those guys like Burley or Robin Ventura. You can tie him, but you can't beat him.
Yeah.
Take a look at some of those numbers. 612 home runs, drove in 1699. Yikes.
You know, I remember when Jim was going after his number 500, he was having trouble, and he was just putting too much pressure on him because everything is self-induced, you know. It's like when a hitter gets to 99 RBIs, he got pressure to go to 100. When a pitcher gets to 19 wins, you got pressure to go to 20. So we're on the back of the plane one day coming back off a road trip, and he was really struggling. And he asked me, what do you think's wrong? I said, Jimmy, I said, you're putting all this stuff on yourself. I said, you know, forget about hitting 500. Forget about it. We got to start thinking in terms of 600. And he looked at me like that and shook his head. He says, you know, that's not bad. Well, a few days later, he hit number 500. And then now he's got 612.
Yeah, 612.
So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a thought process. Everything is self-induced. And the biggest killer performance in sports or in life is pressure. And Wimpy is a prime example. Wimpy used to put a lot of pressure on himself, but he had a way of compensating for it. A lot of guys don't have a way of compensating for it. You had pressure on yourself, and you found ways when you won 25 games.
You have to.
You know, that's what I've talked to so many athletes about. It's like a fingerprint. Everybody's got their own way of trying to find a way to take the pressure out. And that's what it's all about. And he did, and went on to hit 612.
You know, one thing I remember about Jim, seeing him in Philadelphia, him mentoring the guy who was going to play for him, Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
And he was like a big brother to him. And, you know, kind of mentored him. And it took a lot of his at-bats away. He didn't get hardly any in Philadelphia before they finally traded him.
Well, he's a special guy. A special guy. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. That's a good crew going in there.
Oh, yeah.
Trevor and Allen. High in the right field. Hernandez. There they are. And one of the most underrated, as far as under the radar is a better way to frame it, players in the history of this game, Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones was one. Alan Trammell never really got the acclaim.
No, he didn't either.
Then he probably should have gotten.
Yeah.
But when you take a look at the 6-time All-Star, 4 Gold Gloves, along with Lou Whitaker, a wonderful double play combination. And, you know, he did it. He was a very quiet player. He just did it very much under the radar his whole career. And still, just a wonderful player.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I tell you, of course, the Atlanta Brave fans just absolutely adored Chipper. But outside of that, you know, you had, it was just non-entity, so to speak.
That's why another great player isn't getting much consideration is Andrew Jones.
Oh,
I think Andrew Jones is the best outfielder I've ever seen.
Bobby Cox said that.
He was a wonderful center fielder. Just a wonderful center
Bobby
fielder.
Cox told me, he said, Hawk, I asked him about it one day. He said, he's the greatest center fielder I've ever seen.
Well, you live in Atlanta and you watched him day in and day out make those plays. It was incredible because he didn't have the greatest speed in the world, but he had quickness and he was moving to the spot before the pitch was even thrown.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, another guy in another position used to do that too. He wasn't supposed to be a shortstop, was Cal Ripken Jr. Just seemed like every time the ball was hit, he was in front of him.
And you said, what's he doing there?
Yeah. All right, that is the last 11 retired by Rodon.
of Cooperstown, New York on its Hall of Fame weekend, and offer congratulations to this year's award winners and to the 2018 National Baseball Hall of Fame inductees and their families, especially our very own Jim Thome.
Here's Abreu. Struck out his first trip. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for them. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for us. And our guest in the booth, former Sox player and former partner of mine for 10 years, the Whipperoo, Tom Paciorek.
Tommy, who was the best hitter you ever played with?
Ooh.
Not against, but with.
Think about that one. Boy. I never got the, the Aarons or the Mays or anything like that.
Did you get to Edgar Martinez?
I did not play with Edgar, no. No, that would have been a thrill. I'd love to see Griffey. I would love to be on his team, too, to watch him hit on a daily basis. But my favorite guy to play against or watch hit from the opposition was George Brett, though.
Can't blame you there.
I would have loved to have been a George's teammate. Wouldn't you, Hawk?
Yeah. You wouldn't like to pitch to him, I know that.
God. That's not bad.
Boy, he just made another. He just aced it. 1 out.
Stevie, with that over-the-head delivery that this guy has, do you like that better than the little twirling motion?
I do. I like a full delivery. And I like a full delivery for a number of different reasons. Number 2, you see how he dips down behind his body when he delivers the ball? That adds deception. Hawk was talking about it before. You can see the ball from 60 feet away if you don't have any kind of motion at all. That's what pitching from a stretch pretty much is. But a windup, why not use it for deception?
Mm-hmm.
Here's Avi, grounded out to third.
Well, you look at the Maddox, John Smoltz, the guys that of our era that were over the top. Nolan.
Full windup.
Yeah.
And hid the ball behind their body as long as they possibly could. Now, Maddox you could see, but it didn't matter because you couldn't hit it.
How about Tiante? He was fun, wasn't he, Hawk? Louis Tiante.
In 1968, he had a 1.60 ERA, which still stands in the American League.
That's just magnificent. And Gibson had 1.12 in the National League.
It still
that same year.
stands. Well, that was the year of the pitcher in '68.
That's why they lowered the mound.
Well, in
Denny
'68
McClain
they
won
raised
31.
the mound to 15 inches, and then they pitched and dominated that year, and then next year they lowered it back to 10. Boy, that's 5 inches. It just made a huge difference. It looked like a guy was just looking down at you.
So they changed it in '69 then,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They went back
after
to
that '68 year when everybody dominated, all the pitchers.
Wow, another good fastball.
Well, if you got the straight change that he has, and it's a good one, then you get frozen by a fastball. And I don't know why, because you can't be looking straight change. You can't be looking his slider. You might as well be looking fastball, because what else are you going to hit?
Not with 2 strikes.
You're not going to hit that change.
No.
Well, Tony Gwynn made a nice living hitting off the fastball, didn't he? I don't know.
Tony Gwynn.
I don't think
you've heard me say it a lot of times, Wimpy, and Steve has too. My all-time favorite player to watch play was George Brett.
Yeah.
He wasn't my favorite player of all time, but he's my favorite player to watch, because every time he hit the ball, it was a double until he saw it was not. And if he hit one in the gap, it was a triple until he saw it was not. You never saw him one time dog it down to first base.
Yeah, it's another. Robin Yount comes to mind too. That
he was
same kind of player.
Pretty good. Well, hit back-to-back with Paul Molitor. That's a good twosome at the top for Milwaukee in those days.
With Cecil coming up, Cooper and Benji Ogilvy.
Well, Robin made one of the most profound statements in his acceptance speech in Cooperstown I've ever heard. And he said, people always ask me how I want to be remembered. He said, I want to be remembered the way I ran to first base. That can define a player. That can define a ball club. That can define an organization. That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3, and we're still scoreless.
Show in town. It's baseball night in Chicago, presented by Chick-fil-A. Join Ozzie Guillen, Dave Otto, and Layla Rohimi as they break down the greatest stories surrounding the Cubs and the White Sox. That's Wednesday at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago. Oh, that's a good Sunday treat. Some sprinkles, some ice cream, in a big helmet.
Bruce Bochy size helmet. You put a couple gallons in there, couldn't you?
I'll tell you what, you can float that head at Mardi Gras. That's deep and gone.
Man.
Diaz picks up his 10th homer, and it is 1-0 Blue Jays.
Ten and 28 on the power numbers. So that breaks up a scoreless battle as Diaz gets a first ball fastball. Our Ford home run replay drives it out of the park.
That's what we were talking about. First pitch. So we've got a guy out there as good as Rodon with that stuff he's got. If he throws you first ball fastball, you better get on it.
Yeah. Well, we've said for years too, Hawk, but the better the pitcher, the earlier in the game you got to get him, and earlier in the count. Guys like you, Stoney, still waiting for that one fastball.
Well, you're going to get it. You were 4 for 21, I believe, and I think it's coming.
It wasn't that good.
I think the fastball's coming. Just wait for it.
You and Ron Schuler.
You know, waiting on that first ball fastball.
I'm still waiting for it.
Remember Mike Cuellar?
Yeah.
That screwball he had. I used to go up there looking for the fastball. He used to throw me one fastball a year, and I'd hit it out for a home run. The rest of the time, he struck me out every other time. I was looking for that one fastball again. If you get it, you got to get after it. It's that old saying, don't hit or don't look for something you can't handle.
Yeah. Well, Carlton threw me 12 sliders one night in Philadelphia. And so what is that? The golden sombrero. Never even came close to touching the ball.
One of the great sliders in the history of the game.
Oh, my Lord.
I'll tell you another guy who's got, if he's healthy, is that Andrew Miller.
Well, he's had some injury problems, though.
Yeah. Mike Cuellar, what a Cy Young Award winner. He split one year with Denny McClain, I believe it was. He gone.
A lot of Cy Young Award winners coming out of Baltimore. Huh, Stoney?
A few. Well, there were a few.
Okay, you.
Palmer had 3.
Palmer, yeah. Cuellar. McNally, didn't he win one?
I don't think McNally won one.
Huh?
No.
Boy, he had a good. He was really a good pitcher too.
Mike Flanagan won one.
That's right.
Yeah, Flanny did.
Yeah, Baltimore in my time zone when we played every year, year in and year out, Baltimore usually had the best pitchers, not the best stuff, but the best pitchers. They knew how to pitch. Cleveland usually had a great stuff staff, but they didn't know how to pitch that much. They made a lot of mistakes. I think they led the league in strikeouts, broke the American League record one year in strikeouts, but they finished way down. Smith had a little check swing comebacker to Rodon.
I remember when Brinky Boy used to, Eddie Brinkman tell us about when Sam McDowell had threw 2 fastballs right by him, and then he was going to trick him with a changeup, and Brinky took him yard.
Sudden sound.
Yeah. Why? Why do that?
Sam had to this day, he had the best stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He had 3 pitches you could hear. You could always hear his curveball. You could occasionally hear his slider. And occasionally you could hear his fastball because he was throwing 100 plus. He only won 20 games one time. There they chopper, 2 hopper.
Bring your family of 4 to a White Sox game for as low as $49. Our family 4-pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs. You'd like that, Wimpy. 4 chips and 4 sodas, upper level or lower level packages available. Check out all of the available dates at whitesox.com/4packs today.
Yeah, Sam was unusual, as I said. He's unbelievable stuff. You ask anybody ever faced him, they'll tell you. He was an alcoholic, and that certainly hurt his career. But now he hadn't had a drink for almost 40 years. And he's counseled many clubs now on alcohol abuse, and he's just a wonderful human being.
We saw him all the time in Arlington, Texas, yeah.
There's a young man enjoying his day, and why not? He'll get cleaned up later. Don't worry about it, son.
The thing about Rodon is he's got that easy delivery too. That ball gets up on you in a hurry.
Easy, and he can get up there 97. Plus, when he keeps it upstairs, you're just not gonna you're not gonna do much with it.
Haley struck out his first trip.
Oh, right there, that's filthy. Seems like everybody's a low ball hitter now, though, isn't they, Hawk?
Yeah, everybody. When you and I play, we're high ball hitters. That's because the umpires.
That's
umpires
right.
had the balloons.
Yeah.
It's high and deep into right center field. Stay in here. It will. Right in front of the patio, the Bertucci boys. And that'll do it. But the homer, we're halfway home, trailing 1-0. Right now, let's take a look at the White Sox Farm Report presented by Guaranteed Rate.
Nick Madrigal has been just unbelievable. He was a first-round pick, 4th overall. That's at Kannapolis, where he's yet to strike out. That's in 10 games. So you're talking about a guy that can do pretty much everything. Led his team to the College World Series championship, and now a productive member of the Sox farm system.
I saw him play a lot in the College World Series.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
He is a good one.
They're looking for an Altuve, aren't they?
Well, Altuve just went on the disabled list for the first time in 8 years, so hopefully more durable than that. No, actually.
A little more durable?
He's a little more durable. He's got to get into his 9th year before being disabled.
It's a 1-0 Blue Jay lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and this Ryan Borucki there's a shot by Moncada, so good speed aboard. He's coming in with a 0-2 record, but a very outstanding 2.79 ERA, and you can see why.
Ryan Borucki was born in Highland Park, raised in Mundelein, and that's one of the reasons why he wears 56 and why he patterned just about his whole career in his style after Mark Burley. He grew up loving him, and wanted to be just like him, and here he is in the major leagues throwing a whale of a ball game.
Here's Adam. He popped up to second base. There's a bunt, and that's a good one. Nobody's covering.
Oh, no. Boy, you couldn't have thrown that one any better, could you?
No.
Wow.
We've been talking about Adam Engel doing this for quite some time, and if he does it, that batting average would be 20, 25 points higher than it is because he's a good butter. He's got very good speed. Just sometimes he doesn't think about it as soon as this one got on the grass. And you have to have coordination with your second baseman. But Gurriel's a shortstop by trade, so he's not thinking about covering first base on that. It cost him.
Well, if he does that 15 times a year, that's 30 points in his average.
Yeah, it is.
Here's Sanchez. Yolmer struck out. Infield at the corner's in, and that's bunted foul. That's two things that I don't think any of the three of us quite understand, is why guys who can run like that don't bunt more. And another thing is when they put the shift on a lot of hitters, why they don't try to hit against it. Go the other way.
Oh, my.
Isn't that amazing?
That, to me, is the most
crazy.
Unbelievable thing.
It's crazy. That'll get the job done because the third baseman was in. So the sacrifice.
Boy, Baraki threw a heck of a pitch right there, up and in. That was a great job of bunting.
Yolmer laid down a perfect bunt. And there's only one thing Maley can do with it, and that's go to first base. Good effort by Yolmer.
Boy, that is so tough. That's what you thought of, wasn't it? Throw the high fastball?
Throw the high fastball and make it inside if you're talking about a for sure bunt situation, because you find a lot of pop-ups with those.
See a lot of bad attempts too.
Yep.
As here is Narvaez, who tripled his first triple of the season.
That was Yolmer's first sacrifice this year, by the way. Did it nicely.
Tony La Russa sent me up there one time to bunt against Goose Gossage.
How'd that work out for you?
Not too good. He threw that high heater.
You know, that's asking a man to do something he can't
do. Cannot do.
I remember Tony Graffinino going up there against Mike McDougal in Kansas City trying to bunt with that movement that McDougal had on that fastball. I asked, I forget who the hitting coach was, or the manager was after. I asked him, I said, why did you ask him to bunt against McDougal? He said, what are you talking about? And there is it's going to be a game at first, but the game is tied at 1. I thought for a second that's going to be a base hit. Good recovery right there by Lourdes.
Omar drives in his 18th run of the year. The game's tied at 1. That almost snuck through, but a good play by Gurriel.
Got a nice angle right there. Kept it in the infield, and he actually saved the run.
He
that
did.
Guy from second was going to score.
So with 2 out now. Engel at third. Here's Anderson. He's gone out to center and struck out. If you're going to try to hit his changeup, that's the spot you got to get it in, up. That's into right center field. And that'll retire the side, but we get a run, and we'll go to the 6th, tied at 1.
Wednesdays, you can take advantage of this unbeatable deal on Wednesday, August 1st, as our Sox take on the Kansas City Royals at 7:10. It's brought to you by Securian Financial, who can help you make every moment count. Find out more at Securian.com. For tickets, visit WhiteSox.com/$dogs today.
Top of the 6th and a 1-1 tie. If you're just joining us. Christmas in July Day here at the ballpark. Nice crowd on hand. Gritchick. Struck out, then lined very hard to Sanchez at 3rd.
Stoney, 2 straight changeups to this guy. He's hitting 216. What do you think?
Yeah, but he's a very dangerous 216.
Like that.
That's why he threw 2 changeups. Figured the fastball wind up in left field.
Oh boy.
2-0's a heck of a lot easier to hit than
You're not kidding.
0-2.
Tell me about it. That's the big hurt, and I used to joke around about that. We'd talk about hitting, and I told myself, Frank, look, you're a 2-0, 3-1 hitter your whole career. I said, I was an 0-2, 1-2 hitter. Now, who's going to hit the most?
That's so unfair. And Frank was biggest guy in baseball, too. And he took pitches borderline. Was unbelievable.
Well, he was incredible. His first 7 years he was in the league, he's the best right-handed hitter I ever saw. He was unbelievable. He said he set records in his first 6 years that probably nobody will ever touch. I mean, the other 4 guys that did it were Mellott, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, and another guy. And he passed by all of those guys. Walks, runs scored, runs driven in, batting average. 8 him up. The Uri coming on.
One last thing about Frank Thomas is he hit the best pitcher on the other staff. Always number 1 and 2 guy. He wore them out. And it was amazing how he did it. 5th guy might get him out a few times. But that 1 and 2 guy,
Remember Juan Guzman from Toronto?
That game?
That game when he hit in 2 at-bats. He hit that time Guzman probably had the best slider in baseball. He had a line shot off the right center field fence for a double. Next at bat, first pitch he threw him a fastball right up in here and hit it out left center field. Best two at bats I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that for years.
Yeah.
Two best ever. The perfect pitch slider he hit perfectly, and the up and in fastball at about 96, 97, he killed it.
Yep.
To win the game. Alex Fernandez pitched that game.
Must have been cold.
Against these guys, against the Blue Jays, and John Olerud hit a changeup out of the ballpark.
Alex was a good pitcher, especially when it was below 50.
I can remember this stuff, and I can't remember where I'm going next.
I know, isn't that amazing? I was telling Steve before the game started, my memory is going. But you start talking about baseball, everything comes back.
That's it.
What a game.
Well, it is funny that you can remember individual pitches and certain scenarios and where this fielder was in this particular play at this time, at this day. Yeah, always.
Yeah, that is the one game against them that stands out forever on me. And every time I talk about Frank, I just usually talk about that game. Show his greatness.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The last 50 years, the best 4 right-handed hitters come in the American League, and not in order, were Manny Ramirez, Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, and Frank Thomas. Best 4 right-handed hitters to come into American League.
Another 7 or 8 years, you might want to put Mike Trout on that list and expand it to 5.
No question about it. But as you said, you prefaced it right.
Yeah, he needs
to go a few more years.
Yeah. A few more, and he's going to be right there with those guys.
Knock on wood, barring injury.
He's fun to watch.
High. And a skip foul. It will. Yeah, and he's one of those guys, he's just as much fun to watch defensively as he is offensively.
Yeah, there's not much that he can't do, and
Junior was like that.
He's something.
I remember a game we were doing when Alex Rodriguez first came into the league, and Junior was in center field, and we were talking about it. And Junior last year, I think he had 54 home runs. And we said, as great a player as Junior is, he might be playing behind a guy that might turn out to be better than he was.
Yeah. What did you say that Alex hit 356 that one year? I think it was.
Oh, I tried Pinella. We went out to dinner one night, and they were struggling. They weren't. Alex was struggling at the time, Rodriguez, and they were in a pennant race, Seattle. And I said, Louis, you need a third baseman. I said, why don't you give us that kid at shortstop, Rodriguez, and you take Ventura? He said,
what did he say?
He said, if I trade that guy, they will run me out of here on rails, tarred and feathered.
Wow. Remember when Griffey signed, we happened to be in Seattle, and he was taking batting practice in the Kingdom, hitting all those balls up in the upper tank. He looked like the best hitter on the field, next to maybe Frank.
Yeah.
Out of both teams, and he was what, 17?
Yeah. What a great player. What a great player. There he goes. And there is the throw. Yeah. Grab some bench. Strike him out, throw him out, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-1.
celebrate Jim Thome Day when the White Sox take on the Indians. First 20,000 fans to enter the ballpark is going to receive a Jim Thome Hall of Fame bobblehead presented by Wintrust. To purchase tickets, go to whitesox.com.
Here's Leary. He has gone out to right. And then Diaz made a terrific play and a terrific pick by Smoke at first to get him to save a run. Flips that one in. There's a bit of a Kansas City special. He'll take it.
Nice job. He didn't get jammed there. That was a nice job getting his hands above the ball. That was good.
Almost took
good
his
pitch.
thumbs off.
Well,
that's a Wimperoo special.
it's starting to ache right now thinking about it.
You and Rick Riker. Remember Rick? He had to wear that donut on his thumb.
Absolutely. I wore it for the last 10 years. Kidding me?
No, our guest in the booth, if you're just tuning in, you youngsters, is my former partner, a former Sox player. The Wimperoo Tom Paciorek, and he was a good player. One thing about Wimpy, he played hard. He was a good competitor. Abreu 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. One swinging and one called. There's the strike.
Pretty good straight change Paciorek has.
I love this kid.
Yeah.
First time I've seen him.
He's a nice pitcher.
Gets it, throws it.
And pretty good idea about where it's going.
Who's the kid in Tampa that's doing so well? The lefty.
Blake Snell.
Snell.
Yep.
Reminds me a little bit of him.
He's a good-looking pitcher. Snell.
Best ERA in the league, didn't he?
He did for a while. I'm not sure if it's still there, but he's a good one. Paciorek had quite a day today. No walks, 5 strikeouts. The 1 earned run through 5. That's been it. But there's a go-ahead run at first base.
Well, through 5 innings, he certainly looks like a pup out of Burley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sale is leading the league in ERA. Verlander is second, and Snell third. But a fine year by the young left-hander.
There he goes. There's the throw. He's safe. Looked like he got his hand in there before the tag.
Nice job by Gurriel keeping the ball on him just in case he did pop off, and now they're going to take a look at this in their clubhouse and see if they want to review it. Decent enough throw, but it looked like he beat it, and it didn't look like he came off the bag. So we'll take another look. Left hand is in on the bag. That's the easy part. Now, did he come off? No, he's dragging his hand across as the foot hits the bag, so he's in good shape.
Well, you're seeing second basemen and shortstops now. They finally learned to keep the ball at the tag on them.
Well, especially in the review era, because that's what this is, and it's easy to pop off the bag just for an instant, in which case you're out.
I still hate that head first slide.
Oh, yeah. I hate it.
Get a lot of guys spending time on the disabled list because of that.
Absolutely, and they slide through the base too.
2 down. Check it, 1 out.
Now it's time for the Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And Ryan Paciorek has been built for baseball today. It's been quite a day for him. He's locked in a 1-1 duel. And he hasn't given up much, but either has Carlos Rodon, so it's a battle of the lefties here this afternoon.
Now, Paciorek, 2012 graduate of Mundelein High School.
Drafted in the 15th round by these Blue Jays, so he lasted a long time, probably because he didn't have a big fastball, but right now the fastball's more than acceptable. It's been 93. That's not bad.
So he signed out of high school then? Is that what?
That's a good question. It would appear that he did.
If it was 2012, he looks like a baby face.
Yeah, he's 23 years old.
Okay.
As of opening day. Now he turned 24. That was first week of the season, so now he's a lot older. He's mature at 24. He was a young kid at 23.
Isn't it amazing how either you look like you're 18 years old like he does, or some of these guys with these full beards look like they're 50.
Avi, the 2-0 pitch.
Drops a good hook in, and you got to have supreme confidence in your stuff. You're at 2-0. You get the game on the bases because you never know that opposing guy how he's going to do, and yet you drop a hook at 2-0. So that's the family of Ryan Borucki, mom and his dad. Always an exciting day watching your son. Remember, my mom used to just walk. She never would sit down. She used to walk consistently around. Every inning that I was out there pitching, she would be walking around the stands, never in the seat, ever.
Now, this is the big leagues? Big leagues?
Yeah, this was everywhere, but yeah, notably the big leagues.
Okay. What did she do when you were at Kent State and high school?
She walked at home.
2-2 pitch. Yeah, he's impressive. He got real nice mound presence out there.
And you say pitching backwards is so important. Thank you, Catfish Hunter.
That's right.
Right, Hawk?
Yep. He was the first one to do it on a consistent basis. With that stuff he had, he had stuff like Mark Burley. Now, there's ball 4. All he did was beat you. First walk issued by Borucki. And here's Davidson at a double. Just inside the bag, third baseline, and he's grounded to short. Catfish was one of my all-time favorite teammates. And another good buddy of mine passed away day before yesterday, and best wishes go out to his family. Bruce Litsky. Leaky was a good man. Pretty good golfer, too.
Bruce Litsky from the University of Houston.
Yeah.
I had not heard that, Hawk. Huh?
Yeah, he had a brain tumor.
Oh, boy. I knew him.
Luis Santos loosening in the pen as Borucki has had some problems the last couple of innings. Gave up a run last inning on a couple of hits, and he's off to a rocky start here in the 6th.
1 out, 1-1 pitch. Got him to chase that change.
Okay, here's a thought. Get up in front of the batter's box and take away his changeup.
Well, you're asking guys to do something they can't do.
I know.
It's amazing, isn't it? I was talking with Buck Martinez and
Pat Tabler.
we were talking about that at lunch today. And Pat, of course, Pat was one of the best bases loaded hitters.
Oh, yeah.
He had 500 in his career when the bases were loaded.
Yeah, he's good.
We were talking about it, how guys just will not move around in the box.
Or they keep on keeping on.
There they are. Pat on the left.
The Buckaroo.
Buck Martinez on the right.
Buck was a smart catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Smart catcher.
Remember, he and Ernie Witt were a pretty good combo over there in the early days.
Right.
Yeah, early days of the Jays. They've had some great players.
You better believe it. Ooh. I'll tell you, Paul Beeston did an unbelievable job there. Beastie was unbelievable. Put a good pass on that one, but underneath it, get out of here. It will. So 3-2 with 1 out, 2 on. That outfield they had, Jesse Barfield on right, and those guys in the outfield, George Bell. I'll tell you what, that was one of the best outfields, offensively and defensively. get in the hole. It will.
Come on.
Well, here he comes. He's going to score. 2-1. Yes.
Pete Walker's going to take a trip to the mound, try to settle Borucki down as this one punched through the left side. Matt Davidson drives in run number 40 as they test Hernandez and beat him easily.
Well, this is the third time around. You always talk about third time around is usually a little tougher on the pitcher.
It's a lot tougher. They know what stuff he's throwing, how his fastball's moving, and in the case of Borucki,
yeah, you can watch all the video and all the tape you want, but until you get in that batter's box and see him from 60 feet.
you gotta. Well, now they know how the changeup works, and that part of it's awfully good. So, Sox have the lead. Join NBC Sports Chicago for our next White Sox Authentic Fan Night. That's this Wednesday at Guaranteed Rate Field. You can watch the Sox take on the Royals. Visit the Authentic Fan booth located outside sections 157 and 158. Grab a free t-shirt while supplies last. That's Authentic Fan Night this Wednesday at Guaranteed Rate Field.
Don't stop now, boys, as here's Moncada. Takes a strike. He was 1 for 2, scored a run last inning. A single leading off. Well, you know, I call it a sense of control. And one of the reasons being is that if you've never seen a guy before, you don't have a real strong sense of control the first time you face him, because you're looking to try to gauge him a little bit, try to see if he's sneaky, what kind of fastball, what kind of breaking ball he's got. Then the second time, you have a little more sense of control. Then when you get to the third at bat against him, you probably have a pretty good sense of control. That doesn't mean you're going to hit him, but it means you're more dangerous. Because one of the two is going to have a sense of control.
What they're doing this time through the lineup is they're taking some of those straight changes that are dipping out of the zone, and that's different than happened the first 2 times up.
Yeah, well, that's that sense of control, because you've seen it.
He's right at 100 pitches now, so he might be getting a little tired.
Just thinking about Jack Morris going in. He didn't think anything about throwing 180, 190 pitches.
No. Nope. Well, Nolan, that was like a.
They were over 200. Him and McDowell were over 200 a lot of starts.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Sam throw 256 pitches one day in Kansas City. Hit it into right field. That was a tag, but nobody's going to go anywhere. So that is out number 2. Yeah, it was a hot day in Kansas City, and Sam was going for the league. He was leading at the time in ERA. After the game, he walked about 9 or 10 guys in that game. After the game, I went over to his locker. He was sitting there with his head between his legs like this, looking down. He looks up at me and goes, "Hawk?" He said, Alvin Dark was the manager. He says, "Why did the man leave me in that long?"
I was just going to ask you, was it Alvin?
Yeah. I asked Alvin too. I said, "Why'd you leave him in there long?" He says, "Well, he hadn't been doing his running. I wanted to make him pay a little price." Off the end of the bat. He misses him. Everybody is safe. Now,
I think they want to take a look at it.
Borucki, now they say he's out of the baseline. I tell you, I've been watching this series. This is not what you would call a stellar umpiring crew. It's the first 2 games have been not good.
He did kind of step out of that.
Well, he did. Yeah.
Do you have to stay between those lines? Because when you're running the bases on a hit, you always make that little turn like he just
Ricky
did.
is saying you don't have to stay in between those lines. But I don't think you have to stay in between.
Well, you can avoid a tag.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can avoid a tag. You can go to the right if you avoid a tag. You can't go over, past the coach's box.
Well, Adam Engel is standing at first base, and so no one got ejected. They're certainly dejected. as it's out of the inning, and we'll take a look one more time. They're saying moving that far out to avoid the tag, he was out.
All right, that'll retire the side, but we score a run and we lead it 2-1.
Well, there's the broadcaster race, and I think I've won for the first time in my career.
Look at him go.
They're going to investigate that.
You know,
no way you going to outrun DJ.
That was fixed for sure.
It's sure is right.
When did they start doing that?
Well, they've been doing it periodically over the last few years.
That's great.
Yeah. Occasionally they break them out on a Sunday, but you got to bring them out of mothballs.
It's better than the pierogi races and the kapusta, whatever, kielbasa races in Milwaukee. We got to do it every night.
Fastball.
Every night.
Hernandez 0 for 2 twice. He's going out to right field. First time up, he just missed one.
MLB TV now available at a lower price. For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer.
Almost 24,000 in attendance today. 28,836. Well, even though it's been a very, very tough year to watch, most of the fans know what's going on. They bought into it, and they have supported well.
Well, you're seeing some of the younger guys that you wanted to get their at-bats, to get their reps in the field, start to get them. And Anderson is considerably better than he started the season. Moncada is much better than he started the season. So we're seeing the maturation process of a couple of young players that will be part of the building blocks.
Yeah, we got a lot more coming.
Yeah, there's some real good ones coming.
Well, next year I think you'll see quite a change in the roster.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Quite a change.
What about September? Will a lot of guys be brought up?
I don't think a lot. I think they'll bring up a few, but not a lot.
Morales is retired. You know, that's a chicken or the egg type scenario there. A lot of clubs will bring him up, especially in a rebuilding situation. In other clubs, just to get a taste, just to see what big league baseball is about. Guys who've never been here, you know. But now with the contract situations the way it is and everything else, that curtails a lot of that. And a lot of the veteran players as you well know, a lot of players don't like to see youngsters brought up. They don't like to see them. They don't like to see that many guys going to spring training where the clubhouse is full all the time.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at StatCast. AI, powered by AWS, and it's the home run by Diaz. It's the only scoring for the Blue Jays. 98.9 miles per hour in exit velocity. Pretty much a line drive home run.
He gone. And that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch. We lead it 2-1.
Cam, bring the fun home. Luis Santos comes in the ballgame on for the 8th time. You can see things have not worked out particularly well for him, but 12 strikeouts and 10 1/3 isn't too bad. He's got to try to preserve a 1-run deficit as the Sox have the lead 2-1. Carlos Rodon throwing a gem here today. And his mound opponent Ryan Borucki threw the ball very well, only he leaves on the losing side. And Hawk, we have a special greeting for you from somebody you know very well and have been associated with for a long time.
Well, Hawk, congratulations on a wonderful career. You know, I've enjoyed our friendship and our relationship, and I want you to know that I have just profound respect for everything you've done. You cared about the game, you always respected the game, you loved your team, and believe me, it's people like you that made baseball and what it is today and what it will be in the future. Good luck. Hope I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself.
Well,
wow.
That was nice, bud. Thank you. As Sanchez, first pitch, pops it up. I got to say one thing. There's been 10 commissioners in baseball's history. I've been through 8 of them.
What was Kennesaw Landis like?
I missed him.
He wasn't a real good guy, though, was he?
I've been through 8, and I got to tell you, the man who set baseball on the right track was Bud Selig. When he took over, there was only 4 teams in the major leagues making money. When he left, there were 30 teams making money.
Yeah, they're all making money, and they're still making money.
he got everybody on the right page, rowing in the right direction, because before he took over, he had 30 different agendas out there.
And Bud's a good man. I've always enjoyed being around him.
Terrific.
Really good.
Always
I tell
enjoyed
you, we
him.
used to have so much fun. Drysdale, when Don was working with us, and God rest his soul, and that big guy. We'd play Milwaukee, and after the game was over, we'd go to Bud and Sue's suite, and Uke would come up.
Oh boy.
And you're talking about telling some lies. I tell you,
God, you should have taped them.
we had a fun time. There is strike. Yolmer, beautiful sacrifice bunt his last time. Moving Moncada and Engel to second and third. Yep. Bud did a great job. In fact, he and Jerry used to have a conversation almost every day when he was commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Two and two. That ball hit deep. Stretch. Way back. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Omar continues his red-hot hitting. That's his 4th home run. He's driven in 19. What a run it's been for Omar Narvaez. He's got 2 driven in today, 1 on a ground ball. He's got the homer and the triple. All he needs is the double and a single for the cycle. He's not going to get those. They're for a home run replay. Shows you the reason why it's a 3-1 game.
Well, even last year, he barreled it up very well.
Yeah, he's become a real force offensively.
Well, when you know the strike zone like he does, which he knows it, you know, you're going to be a little dangerous.
He's been a lot dangerous lately.
Yeah.
It's been really something.
You
It's
touched
been a
on
great
it the
run.
other day. I think it was yesterday or the day before on just how, how he's been swinging that bat.
I mean, he's been the best hitting catcher in baseball over the time of about 2 months.
Well, do you think he's figured it out now? I mean,
yes, I do.
Yeah.
When you're barreling it up like he is, your approach, you go from behind the plate thinking. If you're thinking, when you go step in that box, if you're thinking behind the plate, that's mechanics. When you go to that plate and you step in that box, if you're thinking in front of the plate, that's approach. Mechanics are the killer. Approach is the winner. This is problems back here. That's solutions out there. And how do you cure a problem? With solutions.
Be interesting if he could get a consistency about him for the whole year. You know, not like he's doing right now. You can't expect a guy to hit the way he is right now.
No, but he's been red hot. And when you're talking, over 400 for the better part of 2 months, he's taking his batting average up from the 100s to knocking at the door to 285 now.
Anderson, 2-2 pitch. Well, Wimpy, we talked about it before you came in. As he gets him, Anderson now 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. But you've been in this position before in your career. I've seen you. When you step in that box, hitting is really not that tough because you're locked in. Other times, but that's only a short period of time, a few times a year.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it's terrible. It's devastating almost. But when you're seeing the ball good and swinging it
like
good,
he is, yeah.
Hitting is not tough.
That's why you got to figure out when you're not going good, what was it you were doing when you were good?
Well, most of the time it's because your thoughts are behind the plate, where your hands are, where your feet are, what swing plane, today in the vernacular today is what swing plane you're going to use. I think it's more destructive than it is constructive today.
Well, Omar, since June 7th, is hitting .413. So you're talking about 7 weeks, 6.5 weeks. That's a pretty good stretch.
Has he gotten any Player of the Week awards? Or?
Should get a player of the month.
Maybe a month award in July. Coming to an end.
Well, can't say enough about this young pitcher, Ryan Borucki. Boy, he was impressive.
Yes, he was. He went
really,
6 innings.
Really impressive.
Gave up 2 runs on 6 hits.
If they want to get rid of him, we'll take him.
Ooh.
And of course, with that home run by Narvaez, another generous donation from the Alex Snellius family in loving memory of Ursula. Alex, thinking about you, buddy, and so sorry to hear about Danny. And that'll retire the side, but not before Narvaez. And it's a 3-1 Sox lead.
By Xfinity, and it's the day of Carlos Rodon, and it's been quite a day to this point. He leads 3-1. He's been dominating, giving up just 4 hits. The 1 run, the home run. Got to strike him out, throw him out, double play. Great throw by Narvaez, who's had quite a day himself. So, over 7 innings, just a 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Rodon has been, as he's been the last 4 starts, just overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, he's doing what we thought he would do if he's healthy.
Yes, sir.
Send out a big White Sox shout out to Miles Hayes, who does such a great job a lot of times singing the national anthem, and God Bless America does a terrific job. Oh. 2-0. Drury has popped up to right and struck out.
This one catches him, gets him right on the belt, it looks like.
It does.
Yep.
It's unusual.
If you're going to get hit on the belt.
Yeah, not bad. That was a fastball, too. Now, Drury just came over to these guys, didn't he? Is that the one from
the
New York?
Yankees?
Yankees,
yes.
Yeah.
Yohannervis Solarte comes on a pinch hit.
Smith 0 for 2. 2 ground outs.
The pen is up and going. And it's Gomez and Avila.
There's a strike. One pitch.
Toronto pen up and going. It's Joe Biagini.
Gap out there in right center. Just tuning in, 3-7-0 for our guys, 1-4-0 for their guys. And the count 3-1.
That one got a good piece of Brian O'Nora.
Yeah. Fine ball. Tell you what, these guys, well, what a tough job that is.
Especially behind the plate.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
That got him on that little extra guard and pushed the mask down on his chin.
What a tough, tough job.
Now, do they have the same kind of face mask that the catchers have?
They can
the
have
same material
any
that
they want.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's personal preference when it comes to that.
Yeah, and a lot of them are different. A lot of them are different. He's going to hang in there.
Tell you what, he's done a good job because nobody's complained too much about him. You know,
they haven't.
He's been inconspicuous. Wow.
He's conspicuous there.
He was there.
Did you ever umpire any of your grandson's games or your son's games?
Not behind home plate.
No.
Never.
On the bases?
Oh,
first base?
Oh, sure.
I did. I umped behind the plate in Little League.
You did?
Oh, you did.
Yeah, because I used to be a catcher, so behind the plate was no big deal.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't all that pleasant when you got hit in the mask.
Oh, I hated it. I hate pain.
Payoff pitch. That's into right field. Can of corn. I caught 39 games one year when our catcher, his dad was in the Air Force, got transferred. So we didn't have anybody to catch. And I said, I'll catch. We had 39 games to play. I had a ball back there.
Really?
In fact, the Cubs wanted to sign me as a catcher.
Huh.
It was fun. You're in the game all the time.
Oh.
You know, you're right. You know, when you get hit in the mask, that's not fun.
No, that was not fun.
See, my problem, I used to get hit in the back of the head.
Is that what caused
I
it?
needed tooth masks. I was not going to hang around and see what was going to happen.
Get your ground ball here and get out of the inning at pitch 104 on the way.
Here's Maley. A strikeout, and he went out deep to right field.
The first inning where Carlos has shown some signs of tiring. He's missed his spot a few times. He's had very good command all day long. But this inning, starting to get away from it.
2-1. Yeah, he went to 3-1 on previous hitter. Hit the leadoff guy.
Pretty consistent. 17 pitches, his high water mark in the 5th inning.
And the count evens at 2. Sox with an off day tomorrow, as here's the 2-2 pitch. A lot of the guys and a lot of the staff will be at Beverly Country Club. The White Sox Charities golf outing. And then on Tuesday, Kansas City comes to town for a 3-game set. Here's the payoff. So the walk. First walk issued by Carlos. And here comes Ricky. Even with all the tough stuff that's going on this year, one thing about Renteria, his boys don't quit.
Well, he has a signal to the pen yet. This could be one of those situations where he's going to ask Carlos a couple of questions. If he likes what he hears, he's going to leave him in. If Carlos answers in the affirmative, I think he's going to let him go because he has not made his decision yet.
I'll tell you what, I love what he does. I love what he does. I love Renteria, what he does. I don't like managers as soon as they come out of that dugout. In some cases it's okay, but as soon as they come out of that, they point to the bullpen. If you got your best pitcher out there, give him the opportunity.
Yeah.
Give him the accountability.
He just wanted to see how he answered that question. How you feeling? Can you get this guy? The answers were yes. Well, there he is. Let's hope his faith pays off.
So here is Grichuk. He is 1 for 3, a single. Could not check it up. Yeah, when you got your best pitcher out there, talk to him. Let him, give him the accountability, the opportunity.
Well, Grichuk's been right on the fastball, but he hasn't come close to the slider.
And very quickly, the count 0-2.
Now, bury one here. You don't have to worry about a setup pitch. Pitch number 111 on the way.
High and wide. That one at 97.
He reached back. He got everything he could get on that high fastball. He wanted to punch him out upstairs. Let's see if now he goes to the buried slider.
I know when we first drafted him, got him, my son Casey had a good friend who was the backup catcher for Rodon in college.
NC State, right?
Yeah. And I asked him, I met him, and I asked him, I said, what are we getting here in Rodon? He said, Mr. Harrelson, he says, you're getting a guy with some big stones.
Yes. He gone.
6 strikeouts now.
That's that buried slider, and no chance at all for Grichuk.
Yeah, that's nasty. That looks like a strike.
No, you're not.
It looks like it's belt high.
Have any chance on that?
Well, Randall, that's one of those at bats. You just tip your cap and say, I'll hopefully see you next time.
Well, he had his chance on the second one.
Yes,
that second one was a hanger, and he fouled it back, and that was it.
Yeah, that backup catcher was telling me, he said he's got as much guts as anybody. Said he's not afraid of anything.
Now, is this Gurriel related to the guy in Houston?
Yes, they're brothers. This is his younger brother, 9 years his junior.
Well, he's 1 for 3. He's bidding to have 2 hits in another game.
Yeah, the streak is on the line. 10 straight games of multiple hits. 10 straight. All-time record for Toronto Blue Jays. And they've had some really good hitters over the years. Took over for Tony Fernandez.
Lays off that one. 2 on, 2 out, 1-1 to count. Top of the 8th in a 3-1 Sox lead. Rubber match of this 3-game series.
Oh, man.
And there's another hit. And it's going to score the run. So that is 11 straight games. This young man has 2 or more hits.
It's really an amazing streak. When you consider how good the pitchers are, how good Rodon is today.
Yeah.
And yet 11 straight multi-hit games. That's going to be it for Carlos, as Ricky Renteria wants to go to the pen to take down Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
A beautifully pitched game by Carlos Rodon. Again. He's the thoroughbred. So he'll depart.
To a once-in-a-lifetime experience, from Chicago White Sox games to amazing concerts and shows you don't want to miss. StubHub, your ticket out. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago White Sox. Time now for a Lakeside Bank call to the pen. Lakeside Bank, it's about time, and it is Luis Avilan. He comes on for the 47th time. His ERA just under 4. He's 2-0. You look at the rest of the numbers. He inherits basically the game on the bases. The tying and go-ahead run at first and second. And 1 out to get, but Justin Smoke standing in the way.
And this is a guy that you call dangerous at that plate. 1 for 3 today. Has 16 homers, 54 knocked in.
Is he a better righty or left-handed hitter?
He's actually more powerful from the left side, but a better right-hand hitter. Like most guys that do that natural side, right side, and they're just better hitters because they have a groove stroke.
Well, you could see when he signed with Texas that he had the chance to be a pretty good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were the cradle of first baseman. They can develop some first basemen in Texas.
There's a strike. Count evens at 1. Yeah, out of Goose Creek, South Carolina.
You look at some of the guys they developed.
Chris Davis.
Smoke is terrific. They've developed a bunch of. Mark Teixeira was a state-of-the-art first baseman. He was developed by Texas.
Seems like they develop them and they trade them.
They trade a lot of them.
Good rip right there, just underneath it. He had the barrel on it.
It's Don Cooper talking with Carlos Rodon about his performance today, and it was a good one. He just seemingly ran out of gas a bit in the 8th inning, to be expected because he went deep into last ball game. And this time you could tell the control, just that real pinpoint control, just eluded him here in the 8th.
Yeah, hit Bassman a walk, then the base hit by Gurriel. Pops him up. Short right field. Moncada is back, makes a catch, and that'll return to the side. They score a run and it's a 3-2 Sox lead.
Your team pride with a White Sox checking, an official White Sox MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Abreu, Garcia, Davidson.
Curtis Granderson checks into the game in right field.
Abreu 0 for 3, a couple strikeouts and a pop-up.
Would be nice to pick up an insurance run here. Make things a little easier to whoever it is that happens to be Ricky's choice to shut it down here this afternoon.
Pulls off that pitch. And the count 1-1.
The wind has shifted now. It's blowing straight in, which is kind of unusual for this ballpark.
And the count 1-2. We mentioned the off day tomorrow, then Kansas City coming in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And that is out number 1. So 3 strikeouts today for Abreu. And here's Avi. Avi grounded to third, struck out, and walked.
So here's the guy that you got to get 600 at bats out of.
He was on the way to having, well, he hit 330 last year, Tommy, and he was on the way to having a great year, and then a terrible hamstring.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a 2-month job, and then he came back, was hitting everything in sight. When he came back off the DL, he was smoking the ball, went on the DL again with another hamstring problem, only it wasn't as bad as the first time. And since coming off, he's swinging it okay, but not like the first time he came off.
Well, those hamstrings can just pop up at on a minute. You feel great one day, 1 second, and all of a sudden it's popped.
One and 2 the count. I remember the All-Star game 1968 Houston. Killebrew was playing first base. went out stretch. You could hear it. You could hear it from the dugout. Popped his hamstring.
He was out the whole
ever
year.
have him?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, twice on the disabled list with hamstrings. Yeah, they just grab you.
Just underneath it.
I think
I only had it one time, and that was just a slight one.
Really?
Playing right field in Cleveland, you know, the Browns got done with that outfield. It was like a swamp, like Washington.
It's terrible. Man.
Let's take a look at the Verizon projected starters. This is for the Tuesday series opener against Kansas City, and it's going to be Danny Duffy and James Shields.
Danny Duffy's tough against us.
Danny Duffy's got great stuff, and you look at his record every year. The record is not what you would think it should be. When you look at his stuff's as good as anybody around, and yet he's having a hard time harnessing it. That ERA at 4.70.
I'm sure a lot of people have inquired about him.
I wish we had him.
Yeah.
That old saying, you know, you get with the right, sometimes you get with it. I'm sure their pitching coach is telling them some good things, but sometimes, for an example, you bring somebody like that over here, when you get Coop in essence says the same things, but says it in a different way, and it hits the light switch. Semantics. Who were some of the best hitting coaches you had? Were they some of your teammates?
Well, the teammates were great, but I always go to Charlie Lau.
Yeah. Yeah. Teammates, they used to tell you like it was.
Yes. A lot was consumed after the game's through with and talking about those things.
That's right. Having a few suds.
Into the night.
2 out. And the 1-2 pitch. Yeah, I remember in '83. The 2 leaders on that ball club were Kuzma and Bull.
Yep.
Luzinski. They used to stay, and all of us, we'd stay in that clubhouse sometimes at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, telling lies and telling each other how bad we were. Oh, he got a cookie right there and missed it.
There's a guy who out-punted his coverage.
That ball hit deep into left center field.
Green.
But knocked down, and that'll do it. We're into the 9th. We lead it by 1.
true moment. And it's the day of Omar Narvaez. First of all, a triple. I didn't think you'd see one of these authored by Omar, but there it is, his first of the year, and then his 4th home run. Quite a day for Omar. He's driven in 2 of the runs. And there it is, man behind the plate, and Jace Fry coming on to try to nail it down. He's 1 for 1 in save opportunities, and he is the de facto closer.
Well, that was nasty. He didn't get that one.
He's got a really good hook. Ooh. A really good hook.
Hernandez, he's dangerous. Ball hit deep, and we got ourselves a tie ball again.
Even with the wind blowing straight in, which it did, knocking down Matt Davidson's line drive, that time that ball cut through the wind and went out of the ballpark. 16th home run for Hernandez. We'll take another look at it. It's a fastball. It's inner half. It's a 4th home run replay, and it's a tie game.
I was watching him yesterday in the game, and not swing right there. He can hit with short arms. When you can hit with short arms, I tell you, you've got a chance to be really dangerous. There's strike 1.
Well, the thing about that at bat too is that first curveball was in the box.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Great curve, and so that set the stage. 1-0. Absolutely.
Changed the whole dynamic. Whole dynamic. You're sitting next to a pitcher right there. He'll tell you what it can do.
Yeah. Ouch.
There's that first hook. In order to catch it there, it's got to come over the plate a strike.
Right.
Just has to. But there's the go-ahead run, Kendrys Morales. Now the question is, will he stay at first base or will they take him down for a pinch runner?
I'd be shocked if he stays there.
He's staying there for the time being.
Here's Diaz. He homered, leading off the 5th inning. Outfielder deep, straight up, guarding against extra bases. No double set.
Sox pin up and going. Genmark Gomez starts to get loose.
Wearing a pretty good number right there. Former Sox reliever. That ball hit hard. Now he's not going to be able to get it. Off the fence. So trouble, trouble, trouble.
Well, that's where it's already cost him a run because there's a whole lot of guys would have scored, but not Kendrys Morales. So for the time being, it's still a tie game. And Diaz, who had homered earlier, hits a ringing double to right field. No chance for Avi. That's going to be it for Fry. He's going to depart this one. Genmark Gomez is coming in, and you see Morales. He just had no idea where Avi was playing because he slowed down between first and second. For the time being, it cost him a run.
Yeah, that's right. You got to know the outs, and you got to know where those outfielders are. And I can't believe they didn't pinch run for him.
So with Gomez coming in, we'll step out. Be back after these messages. And it is Genmar Gomez, and he's got some problems. Runners at second and third, nobody out in a tie game. He's on for the 6th time. His ERA an even 3. He's got to take down Drury. And then you've got Granderson in the on-deck circle, who was put in the game defensively. Now comes into play in the 8th spot. There's a look at Jose Contreras, one of the wonderful men that's ever donned a White Sox uniform. Just a terrific pitcher.
Terrific guy.
Yep, he is that.
Terrific person. So here's Drury, 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch leading off last inning and came around to score.
Infield in at all 4 positions. They're coming home.
Well, they're back a step or so, and they can be with Morales at third.
Now they can be back even further than this.
Yeah, they can. That's what will determine how far you can come in. If you can play them in, is the speed of the runner at third base.
You know, a lot of times if you got fast runners out there, the contact play would come on, because at least the worst thing that could happen is the guy would go from second to third, still have that with only 1 out. But with that guy at third,
no.
And if you're just joining us, my former partner Tom Paciorek, the Whimperoo, sitting in with us. That's fouled away, and very quickly the count 0-2.
I'm thinking if you can get by Drury, then you walk Granderson, load him up, and take your chances on a ground ball. You got 3 right-hand hitters coming up in a row after Granderson.
Plus, he's been swinging the bat pretty good.
Yes, he has.
Lays off that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the top of the 9th in a 3-3 tie, but jeopardy, danger looming. Two and 2. Of course, that 54 he's wearing, former number of Goose Gossage. Sir Goosifer.
he was nasty. Still have nightmares about that guy.
He and Terry Foster were quite a twosome when they first got with the White Sox.
Yeah.
I thought Terry had better stuff than Goose.
He did.
Oh, man.
He just hurt his back.
That's trouble. That's going to score a pair. I'm going to say 5-3 is now the tag effort. Safe. 5-3 Blue Jays.
That fastball right down the middle, and Drury takes it right back up the middle.
A lot of guys going to hit that pitch.
Yep.
Remember, Drury was with the Yankees, traded over from Arizona, and then he spent most of the year injured, and then all of a sudden those good young kids come along and he's gone. He's in the minor leagues. Drury.
Well, he was the key to that deal that sent Happ, and Happ won his ball game today with the Yankees, so he's going to really help the Yankees. That was a good trade by them.
Oh, yeah.
Still nobody out. A homer, a couple of doubles to go along with a hit by pitch. Hard hit. Oh, nice. Can he get him? Yes. Beautiful play by Manfred. Mercy.
That was a big effort. Saved another run for the moment. And a great play by Yuan as he moved to his right. Was able to take a couple of steps, and then the dive kept it out of right field and got it across in time. What a play.
Granderson still runs pretty well, too.
He does.
Heck of a play.
Well, he's been a good player.
There have been a few teams interested in him, and a lot of the trade rumors are that he's going to depart.
So here's Maley, 0 for 2 with a walk.
Infield in once again at all 4.
And a few steps closer than they were for Morales. In case you're looking at the bottom of the ninth for our Sox, Moncada, Engel, Sanchez, the scheduled hitters. With Narvaez, who has tripled and homered in this game, the 4th hitter.
They got to find a way to get him to the plate.
If somebody on, they will.
Yeah.
The way he's swinging it, that'd be a good idea.
But a little business, a little work to do right here. Breaking ball strike. That ball rocketed down the third base line. And it's a 6-3 Blue Jay lead. Another double.
In an extra base extravaganza here in the ninth. 4 extra base hits. That becomes a 3-run lead as he takes his little sinker inside right down the line. No chance at all for Yolmer. And Chris Conroy turns around, motions it fair, which it was. And a nightmarish ninth continues.
Well, this is a little payback as Blue Jays had a nightmarish 8th.
Yeah, looks a little like the 8th last night.
Yeah. Checks it up. Did not go.
Which kind of shows you how good Rodon's stuff was when you look at all the line shots that they're hitting this inning.
How tough it's been after he left. Yeah, his stuff was really good today.
They were talking earlier. You stick Josh Donaldson in that lineup, and that's a pretty potent lineup.
Well, whatever happened to Tulowitzki?
Yeah, what did he get? Hit by a pitch, broke a hand or something?
And both those guys, I haven't heard of them in a long time.
Coming back, yeah. The Uri is there.
Second baseman number 13, Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
So now 2 out. And this young man here, if you're just joining us, is on a remarkable streak. Coming into the day, he had a 10-game hitting streak with 2 or more hits. And he has got 2 hits today. 2 for 4 with an RBI.
What's the all-time record?
I have no clue. I don't ever recall even having a 10-game hitting streak. Period.
It's the best in the last 50 years. Tony Perez also had double figures in hits 11 straight games.
I've never heard of it.
No, it's
Me either.
Pretty remarkable, actually.
Me either.
Look at this.
He got 3 hits. And here comes the running. They're going to cut it. Couldn't get it out fine, but he does. And he gets it.
No.
And he's in pain. Something happened.
Well, hopefully that's not a twist.
He didn't slide.
Looked like he got caught in between. He was going to it, didn't he? That time was too late.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, that's right.
That is one of the most dangerous plays in baseball, when you're making that determination whether to slide or not slide, and the knee goes out from under him, rolls over it. That does not look good.
Look at that.
I've been there and done that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Hawk.
Oh.
I heard when I did that spring training in Mesa, I heard 2 pows. I knew my leg was broken. I didn't know what the second was, so I looked at my foot, and it was pointing south.
Wow.
From north to south. I was in between.
Yes. Well, that's the one thing. If any kid out there listening or any coach, make sure they slide. When in doubt, you've got to slide, and preferably feet first.
At this point, even if you slide into the tag, the run is already scored.
Oh,
you
yeah,
slide
it's
into
nothing.
the tag, and you come away, and you're going to be healthy tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, that's a shame. Meanwhile, we put a 6 spot on them in the 8th inning yesterday. They put a 5 spot on us in the top of the 9th here. And they lead it 7-3. And while they're attending to Gurriel, we'll be back.
Was able to walk off the field. He had a little help, but still he was up. He was walking on his own power, which is a good sign. And hopefully this very talented young man is going to be okay. We get a new pitcher coming in the ball game after a very tough 8th inning yesterday. Ryan Paciorek comes back. ZRA a little above 3.5, on for the 44th time. He's 5-4. Save situations for him have not been good. 7-13, but this is not a save situation.
Moncada.
Russell Martin takes over at third base. Drury shifts over to second base.
And here is Johan. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Outfield slightly to the left there. Spread out. Seven, 10-0 for them. 3-7-0 for us. One and one to count. If you're just joining us, Carlos Rodon was outstanding today. Just absolutely, really impressive. Just like we knew he could be when he's healthy. He just dominated this Blue Jay lineup.
Yeah, he did a great job, and for the second time in a row, he took the game into the 8th inning. Went 7 2/3 today. Gave up a couple of runs on 5 hits, just 1 walk. Fan 6.
Drury makes the catch, and that's out number 1. So here's Palka. Hitting for Engel.
He had one of the big hits yesterday. Pinch hit appearance, drove it through the right side, drove home 2 runs.
Reminds me a lot of Schwarber.
They're both real strong.
When they hit it,
it stays hit.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
There's a strike.
Well, let's see if we can make it polka time. Get the accordions out.
Again.
Weird Al Yankovic.
0-2 the count. If y'all were just joining us.
If I'd known you then, I would have invited you to my house because I live down the block from Frankie Yankovic.
Frankie? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Indeed.
One of the greats.
I know.
I think that's Phil Necro's buddy.
Drury way back out there in right field as they have the shift on. That ball hit high and deep. Way back. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes. A bomb.
Well, Daniel can really hit him. And that one didn't come down till it was a 3-run deficit. So for Daniel, he hits his 15th. He's driven in 38. He's now 3 for 10 with 2 home runs and 6 driven in as a pinch hitter. You can make a living like that, a 4 home run replay, and a big home run it was. Wow.
It's polka time. Everybody dance.
Boy, he killed it.
He did that.
He's been one of the bright spots since being called up.
Well, he's an outstanding low ball hitter, isn't he?
Yes,
you
he
get
is.
it from the thigh down, you're in trouble.
That was 108.1 exit velocity on a towering fly ball that got out of here in a hurry.
Yolmer. Got a beautiful sacrifice bunt back in the 5th inning.
Ryan Tepera is going to be very happy not to see Chicago again this year.
That's into right field. That's a can of corn. Curtis misjudged it. Now coming on, he makes the catch.
That was just enough makeup speed to be able to make the play now, because he broke straight back.
He sure
Finally,
did.
he's busting it coming in, realizing he misjudged it, but still with some time.
Yep. So here is Omar, a triple. That was in the 3rd inning. A homer in the 7th.
This guy looks like he's got a real good arm, but not a lot of deception.
He's got a real good arm and very little deception. But the stuff is good.
Well, you better have good stuff if you don't have any deception.
Yeah. I mean, he's just showing you everything, working from the stretch. That's why on days when he doesn't have his great stuff, I think that's when he's going to get lit up.
Well, Wimpy, we want to thank you for stopping in today,
Thanks,
buddy.
Hawk.
I hope you have a wonderful time tomorrow at Beverly in the golf outing for White Sox charities.
I'll be there, and you guys will too, so it'll be fun. Look forward to it.
Yep.
You'll love the golf course. The people are great.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be a very nice day.
The last few years we've been very, very fortunate for the golf outing for White Sox charities and having good weather.
That's what they anticipate.
Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, bottom of the 9th, and we're in trouble. Full count.
Tim Anderson in the on-deck circle in case Omar keeps it alive.
There's a little Kansas City special.
When you're hot.
A double shy of the cycle is Omar.
You know, I still get people say, well, you're demeaning Kansas City when you say that. And I'm not. I'm complimenting them because I wish we could do it more.
Yeah.
Wish we had that in our arsenal, which we don't. Here's Tim. He's due. He's 0 for 4. A couple of fly outs to center and a couple of strikeouts. That'll be indifference as he just trots down to second. They were playing way out there.
Come on, he's already got a triple. Give him a stolen base. It'll be a great afternoon for him.
2 driven in.
Yeah, what a day. 3 hits.
Double shy of the cycle. Woo. Not bad.
Count evens at 1. Anderson. And once again, if you're just joining us, Carlos Rodon, 7 2/3. He was just awesome, as he can be. Two-hopper, and this ball game is over. So they score 5 times in the top of the 9th inning, and Steve Ohtani was the whole story today.
He was, and he was very good, and unfortunately did not get paid off for it. But if turnabout is fair play, yesterday the Sox did end the Blue Jays late. Today the Blue Jays return the favor, and they take the series 2 of 3. We will see you in a couple of Sundays, Hawk.
Yeah. All right. So for our producers, Denny Bunn, our director Jim Angio, our Hall of Fame director Jim Angio, our associate producer Dave Ross, technical manager Mark Harper. He's a good one. Our executive producer Greg Bowman. And for the Whimperoo and for also the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, and Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Dominic Maggiero, Doug Bullard. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. Guaranteed rate field. Coming up next, the Subaru Postgame Live. You've been watching White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago.